This is Matthew Keener, and today he is flying a mission down to North Carolina to rescue 4 dogs and deliver them to new owners in New Jersey, saving them from being euthanized. Matthew runs a nonprofit organization called FlyPups that works to transport dogs out of shelters that euthanize animals that aren't adopted and transport them to no-kill shelters. And Matthew was inspired after flying his first mission.
The shelters up north have typically large vacancies and enable these dogs to be rescued and saved from euthanasia. It became known to me that all that was needed was transportation from these kill shelters to these non-kill shelters that had the vacancies. The first mission I did, they called it a rescue gone bad because I ended up adopting one of the puppies myself. It was that mission that got me started. It solidified that this is what I needed to be doing. I named her Piper, and ultimately ended up buying a bigger plane, a Piper Saratoga, to accomplish this.
Matthew has been passionate about flying since he was a child, and he currently flies his own plane out of Sky Manor in Pittstown, New Jersey.
I've been flying for over 20 years. As a child, I was interested in flying, and this dog rescue gives it a purpose. The first rescue I did years ago, found on a bulletin board the transport needed to be done, and then I was receiving phone calls to do more yet, and that brought me down the road of starting my own organization to better serve and accomplish more missions.
Matthew lands the plane in North Carolina before packing the dogs up and departing back to New Jersey. It is estimated that between 3 to 4 million animals are killed each year across shelters in America. And Matthew has helped some incredible dogs in his flight.
This plane has enabled me to carry as many as 24 Chihuahuas in one rescue. The dogs were ultimately brought up to Popcorn Park in New Jersey, where they were taken care of and then adopted out. With the larger plane, I'm able to carry more. That being said, there have been instances where I've taken just one. Radar is a case where he was a pit bull that a police officer outside of Philadelphia had found on the side of the road, almost dead. He was used as a bait dog in fighting and then abandoned. The community gathered around and took about a year to get him physically rehabilitated. Surgeons offered their services for free, and a lot of volunteers brought him back to where he needed to be physically. It was then that I was called upon to bring him to a behaviorist out in Cleveland. His emotional scars needed to be healed. So we picked him up just outside of Philly, flew him to Cleveland, wonderful organization out there, K911, and they worked with him, and ultimately he prospered and did so well that they ended up keeping him as a dog to work with other dogs.
Surprisingly, the dogs all handle the 350-mile flight incredibly well.
It's always interesting, but even the 24 Chihuahuas, which I was a little bit nervous about, they fell asleep, as most of them do, just about the time you get up to cruise altitude. They nod off. Every once in a while you hear a peep or something, but most of the time they're asleep, and it's only for a couple of hours. I mean, that's what's so great about this. We can accomplish in a couple of hours what vans and cars take days to do. There are transports that come up from Tennessee that I can do in an afternoon, and others are doing over a 2-day period.
FlyPups relies on donations and the public support to fuel these flights, and Matthew will continue to help find loving new homes for dogs in need.
To help FlyPups, you could visit our website. You can like us on Facebook. If you're local in the Jersey area, there's always little jobs that need to be done. And if you live a little bit further away, donations are hugely appreciated. They enable us to keep going. And also just a support network. There's plenty of dogs and plenty of places that need to be transported, and if you let us know, we'll do what we can to make it happen. Every one of the dogs is special. They all come with their own story. Some of them are heartbreaking, but they all have happy endings. So it's very easy to stay passionate, to stay focused, to stay eager, and look for the next one to do.